Fun Facts in Oldschool Runescape is a series where I present multiple interesting aspects of the game that you might not know about. These topics cover anything from skilling to PvM to PvP, quests, new updates, or just random trivia that makes this game interesting. Like for example, did you know that using fire arrows instead of normal arrows changes the model of your enemy? Albeit it only works on mummies, but it does set them on fire. Or the fact that you can change the color of your cat by using a bucket of milk on it. I love this kind of stuff, and I truly believe this is what makes Oldschool Runescape so special. So come with me, and let's talk about fun trivia in this game and try to cover as many different topics as possible. Oh, and by the way, if you have some interesting fun facts yourself, I made an email with tip-off address osrsfunfacts@gmail.com, and if you send me some interesting trivia about Oldschool Runescape, I will put your name and idea in the next video. The next episode will be strictly fun facts that you guys came up with, so if you want to get in as well, make sure to use email osrsfunfacts@gmail.com or comment down below. Okay, let's start the video with something simple and easy that I think most people already know about, and later on we go into more niche trivia. Number 1, you should really buy this item whenever you have leftover money. Not to get membership, but to make profit. I get asked this a lot. Kriibus, I'm gonna take a break for 6 months, but I will come back at some point. Is there an item I should invest all my money in? The answer is bonds. It's always bonds because they always go up even when they go down. For example, I bought a bunch of bonds a few months ago for 12.8 million GP each, and their price is already over 15 million GP. All of this effort took me like 20 minutes to set up, and I've already made over 100 million GP profit. I genuinely believe that by the end of 2025, bonds will be over 20 million GP, and it's the only item in the game that will continue to grow no matter what. So if you want an easy investment strategy with an almost guaranteed payoff and you don't have to worry about time, go for bonds. But if you're not interested in merging, there are plenty of skills that are now also profitable. For example, Herblore is incredibly good for money making after being a lost leader for many years. After Vallamore Part 2 came out, Jagex released 2 items into the game that made Herblore more enjoyable. One of them is the prescription goggles and the other one is Alchemist Amulet. Combine them together and you can now make tons of profit from Herblore. If you don't know, the prescription goggles have a 10% chance to save you a secondary ingredient. So for example, if you're making Saradomin brews, you save 1 bird nest for every 10 brews you make. And currently those are 7k each. The other one is Alchemist Amulet, and it has a 15% chance to add extra dose when you're making potions. It took me roughly 6 hours to get both of these items in the Mastering Mixology minigame, and now it's time to put them together so I can demonstrate how much money I make per one inventory. As you can see, I'm planning to make prayer regeneration potions right now, and my entire inventory costs 916k GP. The reason I'm making these potions is because the secondary ingredient Aldarium is 60k each, and these prescription goggles have a chance to save the ingredient. On top of that, sometimes my prayer regeneration potion turns into 4 doses, which adds extra 10k profit to my yield. So after everything is said and done, my 916k turns into a little bit over 1 million GP. That means with just one single inventory, I made 90k profit. And the best part is, this also gives you quite good Herblore experience. You can get upwards of 300k experience an hour doing this method and up to 6 million GP hour if you can constantly keep buying the ingredients. The same inventory got me another 150k profit. It's kinda nuts if you think about it. Herblore has never been more profitable than it is right now, and I highly recommend you give this a try if you have the willpower to play Mastering Mixology for 6 hours. But enough about merging and making money with skilling, let's talk about Blighted supplies. I saw this thread on Reddit that said you can practice Colosseum in PvP worlds because the lobby is also a safe zone, and it essentially cuts your losses in half because items like Super Restore cost 11k while Blighted Super Restore cost only 5k. With the recent changes to rewards in Castle Wars and the Wilderness Agility course, they now print out a lot of Blighted supplies, and the price of these items has never been lower. This is a great opportunity to take advantage of. Blighted supplies work really good in instance activities like fight caves, Scurriers, Kraken, and many other bosses. The main downside of this method is that you have to use them in PvP worlds, and the concern is that if I, for example, come out of my fight caves attempt after I take down Jad, I will get PK'd. 8. Reality is much different. There's like 100 players in PvP worlds and they're mostly gathered around GE. I spent 2 hours just spectating around fight caves looking to see if somebody comes and hunts me down, but there was nobody. I saw literally 0 people. The advantage here is that people don't know if you're in an instance, therefore they don't know if anyone is even doing the content. So as a beginner, there's no reason to stick around. Even in cases like Scurrius, after you're done with your trip, you can just teleport to safety, hop to a normal world after you resupplied and hop back to PvP world, then immediately enter the instance and bam, you can take advantage of Blighted supplies again. I'm gonna be honest, the benefit isn't that massive at first, but it does add up over time. For example, this would be your average medium level inventory setup for doing fight caves. It cost over 200k per attempt, but then you look over the Blighted version and that cost only 75k per attempt. It might not be a lot if you do something once, but if you're doing these instant bosses that require a lot of supplies like Salra or Vorkat, it's gonna save you millions of GP across the hours if you're willing to take the small risk. Or, you know, maybe this is just Kriibus trying to lure you into PvP worlds. Who knows? In the last episode, I talked about how cheap wines could be an alternative way for food in an early game because they heal 16 hit points and only cost 100 GP. But there's also an alternative for potions at very early levels. One of the things I struggled on my early Ironman was finding ranging potions. There just wasn't a good way to boost my ranging level unless I go so out of my way to get the potions. But there's another option that costs 1 GP and it gives a +4 boost to your ranging level. All you have to do is come here to Shazy and Bob and buy an item called Lizard Kicker. It's definitely on par with some of the other early game boosts like the Excalibur Sword giving you +8 defense or the Combat Potion giving you +7 attack and strength. So if you need a quick boost for ranging skill, you can buy this Lizard Kicker right here. Okay, next trick is something I didn't first believe, but it turns out to be true. Apparently the cow home teleport animation can be used as a safe spot by other players. It acts like a 3x3 barrier in front of the NPCs, and the only way it works is if one of the players is actively casting the home teleport animation over and over again. The cow home teleport animation is available to all players and you can just right click your home teleport and toggle the Runefest animation to activate it. It is disabled in PvP, so you can't safe spot people behind the cow, but I think there could be some use for this against NPCs that have smaller hitboxes and are not bosses. Okay, let's do a quick fire round where I list off 11 interesting facts and trivia in less than 5 minutes. Let's start with farming. If you manage to click on the farming patch, your allotment item and the compost bin on the same game cycle, the player will continue to farm the watermelon patch while simultaneously filling out the compost bin. This will allow you to do 2 things at once without wasting any time. While we're on the topic of farming secondaries, half a coconut is always valued half the price of a full coconut, no matter what. This is an automatic change that happens every time the price of coconut goes up or down. You cut it in half and you also get half the price. Amulet of Nature is an item that can only be traded from one person to another, and its only purpose is to track one single farming patch just in case it gets diseased. It has an interesting way to make it. First, you need to use magic roots on a spinning wheel to make magic string. Then you have to attach the amulet to the string and enchant it to make the Amulet of Nature. And yes, the amulet is pretty useless, but these small nuggets are always the ones that nobody thinks about. Next one, there is an item called burnt pita bread that's in the game's cache, but nobody can obtain it. The reason there is 0 items in the game is because you stop burning the pita bread at level 38 cooking, but you can't actually cook the item until you're 58 cooking. Therefore, you need to lower your cooking level by more than 20 levels to even have a chance to burn it. Players have tried multitude of different methods to get burnt pita bread, like using disease debuffs or the cold weather to lower your levels, but what makes this impossible is that you need to use cooking range to get it in the first place, and there is no way to get your cooking level lower for more than 20 levels. And it also was confirmed by Mod Ash that yes, while the item does technically exist in theory, it is impossible to get it in Oldschool Runescape. Next one, for many years people thought that Falador doesn't have a prayer altar, but this all changed when Jagex decided to add Zamorak prayer altar on the second basement floor in the party room where the museum is. It's also kind of funny that it's a Zamorak altar in the city of Saradomin. Next one, the Dragon Full Helm initially was supposed to be a reward from Fremeni Kyle's quest. You would get 2 pieces, the left side and the right side, by uniting Yetiso and Natisnot together, and you can combine these both to make the Dragon Full Helm. However, just a few months before the quest release in 2007, they changed the reward to Helm of Natisnot, and the Dragon Full Helm was added 4 months later as a very rare drop from Mithril Dragons. It used to have a completely different model, and honestly, this older version of the helmet actually looks quite amazing, and I do wish we had a way to get this in the game in some ways. This is the kind of art design I personally like the most. And finally, there's a player who broke the construction housing system called V3. You can enter his POH and you're unable to leave unless you have your own teleport out. There is no exit portal and the rooms are closed off. He even tries to sell you a teleport tab for insane price up. This player is a smart businessman and I absolutely love this bug in the game. Just a reminder, if you have some fun facts yourself that you want the world to know about, send them to me at osrsfunfacts@gmail.com or write them down below in the comments and I'll put them in the next video with a shout out to you.